jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hello, guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home Tottenham Hotspur present and the exciting future under Thomas Frank. And we have a bit of show today. It's a bit of a mixed match. It's a little bit about the Chelsea game and then a little bit about the game coming up. And then with about probably 5 minutes left of the show, it will be going straight over to members only to give you an early look at my predicted lineup. Let me just sort out my mic because it's not. Let's see. Needs to be a bit lower. Come on, go down. Go down. You know you want to. No, you don't want to go down. Okay, fair enough. Okay. You want to stay where it is. Fair enough. Yeah, so you members get an early look of the predicted lineup. So do actually stay tuned for that. And also the early team news as well. So about probably 10 minutes before the end of the stream, I will be switching it over to members only for you guys to get an early look. But how are we all doing today? Are we all happy? Are we all over the game on Saturday? Now look, Saturday wasn't pretty. Let's be honest. It wasn't pretty. Stop. Fair enough, Colin. It wasn't pretty, was it? It was quite abysmal, if I'm being honest. No fight, no desire. I keep hearing the argument. Look, it's okay. You find the new players. It's a new man. I'm sorry. Saturday was nowhere acceptable. I don't care what anyone says. It wasn't acceptable. And what got me the most, I think, with everything. You're getting dirty in the chat again. What got me the most, I want to start with what happened after the game, and I will bring up Thomas Franks, what he said in the press conference about it. And what's pissed me off the most is, right, is the amount of people now want Frank out. And I've seen it across social media, X and everything. And it's a load of bullshit. I'm telling you now, that's what it is. Bullshit. I get the tactics weren't right. I get it. He's a bit too defensive. But last year we were complaining we were too going forward. We were too wide open at the back. And it's gone from one extreme to the other. But as people keep telling me, we don't have a forward line anyway. We don't have a forward line to do anything. So you're dependent on your defense and you're dependent on your midfield. All I ask for is players to go out and give 110%. Nothing more than that. If they give 110% and they lose, I can accept that. Look, I'm going to be not because we're losing. We've lost. But at least I can set the players that give the all. And look, as much as it's going to hurt me losing, I thought, do you know what? Yes, we lost. It hurts. But the players gave the all. That shows a good sign. We gave nothing Saturday. We showed nothing. And these are the stats of the game. Now, I'm bringing them up here. So let me just do that. There we go. No, let me go over that side. Can I go over that side? There we go. That's better. There are the stats. 52.1% possession. Chelsea did have more possession. That's fine. This is where I'm getting ready now. 15 shots, 9 on target, 2.92 expected goals. Tottenham, 3 shots, 1 on target, and 0.05 expected goals. And also no clear-cut chances either. So we're not doing jack all. We're not even making chances. And we're playing at home. If this was away, we would have played better. But somehow, I think out of the last, 19 or 20 league games that we've played at home under Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank, we've only won 3 out of 19 at home. I think we've lost out of 60-odd games at the Tottenham Hotspur, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've already lost 40 games already. And I would like to know how many we lost in our first 60 games at White Hart Lane. It's not good enough. It isn't good enough. It's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for the fans out there. And we demand more. We demand better. Thomas Frank needs to be given time. Yes. Well, the Lewis family have to back Thomas Frank now. They have to put their hands in their pocket to give him the players that he needs instead of pussyfooting around and giving him shit players so he can make a turd into a turtle. You cannot do it. You cannot make a turd into a diamond. It doesn't work. It's never going to work. And it's about time we as fans realize this. We think we demand an entire right to play good football. With what? We've got shit players. We've got a decent defense. We've got a decent midfield. But our front is the worst front line I can remember in a long time I've seen at Tottenham. A long time at Tottenham. It is absolutely dross. And why? Because of Daniel Levy pussyfooting around in the transfer market and buying shit players or overspending on shit players. And then he swans off into the sunset, leaves a mess behind him. And now we've got to figure out, what do we do? Well, we've got to sell our front line. Well, we had 2 decent players, Harry Kane and Son, and we pissed them off so much they wanted to fuck off. Well, Harry Kane did. I think Sonny's time at the club generally came to an end. And I think him winning the trophy as captain, I think, well, that was the way to go out. I think he went out a winner. So I've got no problem with Sonny, what he done. But we pissed off a generational and a want striker. But even he couldn't have sorted out Saturday. I understand the fans booing at halftime. I understand the fans booing during the game. I probably would have been booing during the game, and I'm being honest. If I was there, I would have been booing. Because you get to the end of the game, you get in near 90 minutes, you're only 1-0 down, by the way. What you do, you get the ball, you hump it into the box. A mistake can happen. A goal kick can come up and thunder it. Tottenham player can get onto it, a flip or whatever. What do? We start passing it to one another. No, you have it. No, no, you have it. No, you have it. No, I want you to have the ball instead of pumping it in there. And then when we did pump it in there, all Chelsea had moved down. All Sanchez had to do go and catch the ball. Simple as. It was a pathetic performance. And I know Colum's a Manchester United fan. And I want to ask you a question, this Colum. If you saw this performance at Old Trafford, how would you feel? Would you be angry? Would you boo during the game if your team were doing what we did Saturday? And there's an honest question. Would you boo your Manchester United players if they were doing what we did Saturday? And do you know what? We all slag off Ange. We all slagged him off because of his management. We all slagged him off because of his incapable of defending. But when we lost to Chelsea 4-2, by the way, we could have drawn that game. We had an Eric Dyer goal. We had an Eric Dyer goal ruled out, and Sonny hit the post. And we had 9 men. We showed more passion and more determination with 9 men than we did with them 11 on Saturday. And I'm sorry, I've always worked with this sort of idea. Sorry, I just need to go and shut the door. Sorry, do apologize. Sorry about that. I've always worked with this idea, right? That when a player crosses the white line, it's their responsibility. A manager can only do so much. A manager can only say to the players before the game or try to make tweaks during the game. He can only do so much from the touchline. Them players are on the pitch. They have the ability and they're supposed to have the talent to really change a game run. But there was no urgency. There was no urgency. There was no nothing. And that's what I find unforgivable. Now, I've seen a lot, as I said, on social media want Thomas Frank out. And of course, you see them saying, some of the Ange out fans or who wanted Ange, oh, Frank has to go, Frank has to go. Then you got the other side going, Frank has to stay, Frank has to stay. Support the fucking manager. That's what we're supposed to do. You know, this divide is bullshit. It is bullshit completely. And I'm getting sick to death of it. I turn up every game, every watch along, every show, every watch along I do, I turn up and support the team. I don't care who's manager, who's playing, who's not playing. I support the 11 players that are on that pitch. And if they play badly, I will call them out and say they've played badly. If they played well, I would say they've played well. If players need defending, I will defend them. But Thomas Frank is our manager. We have to back him 100%. We have to get behind him because this bullshit that's going around social media at the moment is absolutely toxic and it's stupid and it's thick. We support the greatest club in the world. Let's support them. Let's put aside your biases. Let's put aside how you feel about manager or the previous manager. We need to support the players. The players need our support. I understand Saturday wasn't good enough. I understand it was humiliating. I understand it was dreadful. I get that. I understand that. I was angry myself. I was absolutely human with that performance. But one thing is damn sure, I'm going to be there tomorrow night doing this watch along, supporting my team, supporting the club I've supported since I was a little boy. And I will give Thomas Frank my full support too. To the day he's told to leave that football club and another manager comes in, he will get my full support. Yes, we're going to be frustrated at times with the manager. Yes, we're going to be frustrated with the players. But at the end of the day, we have to get behind the club because it's the club we support and it's the club we all supported for a long time. And I'm going to ignore X for the next couple of weeks because all I see on there is just pure toxic shite going on there. A hashtag Frank out. Who do you want to come in as manager then? If you want Frank out, who do you want as manager? Because no decent manager is going to walk into this club and take us any way forward. We haven't even started under this Lewis regime yet, Lewis family regime of a new identity for Tottenham Hotspur. And I think also what's really hopping me mad as well is we decided to give the Lewis family a chance. Well, let's give them a chance. Yeah. Do you know what? Let's give them the next summer and then we might do something about it. We need to keep on with the protests. We need to keep them on. We need to show them we don't trust them. We need to keep them going, but we don't. Because it's Levy's gone. It's okay. The devil's gone. We can all live in harmony. All sit around the campfire and sing "Come by Eye." No, it ain't gone. Because the people that have been there for the last 24 years, still with Daniel Levy, are still fucking there. And they think dropping 100 million in, oh, look, we've dropped 100 million into the club to buy players. Wow, what's that going to get you? What's 100 million going to buy you? One player? That's it. We need 3 or 4. So how about dropping in 400 or 500 million? How about making a really big statement, dropping in 400 or 500 million? Go on, do that. Let's see where we go, and let's get by better players than the front line we've got now. Because I would guarantee you, the front line we got now wouldn't even get you out of bed on a wet weekend. And Thomas Frank's going to say, "Look, I'm not getting supported here. Fuck this, I'm off." And then where we are, we're back where we started. I don't want prospects anymore. I don't want young players. I want ready now, first team players are going to come in and do a job for you. That will come in and hit the ground running. And all this about Xavi as well. Xavi needs to be given time. He's in a new country, a new league. He is a decent footballer. And I've seen people linking him to Werner. I mean, seriously. Werner, are you joking me? Werner couldn't even lace Xavi's boots. Xavi will get there. At least he goes on. He puts in effort. I said that in my player ratings yesterday. He put in a lot of effort. Nothing went his way, but he tried. And you see the reactions of Van der Ven and Spence coming off on Saturday, frustrated. They were frustrated, and I like to see that. That shows that they care. It hurts them as much as it hurting us. Well, I think it's right. They should have went around and actually applauded the fans after the game to say thank you for your support and we're sorry for the shit show that we served up for you. But it also shows they care and they're humiliated and they wanted to get off that pitch as quickly as they can. I don't think it's anything to do with the manager. I will go through what Thomas Frank said about the press conference today, but I really have to get off my chest what I think about the Chelsea game. And do you know what I mean? I just have to. I'm really angry at the moment. Let's welcome a few people in, which I should have done. Big up to Wayne Bonner. He says, "Good afternoon, my fellow tormented Spurs fans. Hope you're well and having a great Monday." I will do. Big up to Colin. He says, "Stop playing with your stick." I have stopped playing with my stick. Wayne says, "I hope you're talking about your microphone." Yeah, them two talking to each other. Very funny. Too defensive. No point having forwards on the pitch if you're going to play too defensively. Well, if we had better forwards, Wayne, I think we would have actually done well. But we didn't. And we have to play to our strongest hand at the moment, I think. Change to 3-5-2 sometimes, both defensive and offensive. At least we do something. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Have you ever thought that you play the way you do because the back five is the strongest part of your team? I know that. What's the point of playing all-out attack when your attack is used as a boat? Look, I get that. But that's down to Tottenham not buying the right players. We've bought woeful players up front. So I get that. You look at Manchester United, for example. You spent on your forward line properly this year, and that forward line now start to come through for you. We didn't. What we got a Richarlison. We got a Colo who is getting back. Give him time. I think he will come good. You've got Kudos, who's, I think, run himself into the ground. And every time he does play, there's 2 or 3 people marking him. You look at Simmons, who I think is still trying to get the grips of the Premier League. I think he does need to bulk up a little bit, and also, I think also, um, just given time, he will get there. Odebear, as I keep being told, he's just come back with a long injury. He will get there. Great going forward, but no end product. And then you've got the useless articles in Johnson and Richarlison. I mean, if they start again, then you're severely, you got one high tide behind your back. You start with 9 men. That proved that up in Newcastle. So I get what you're saying, though, Connor. Our defence is absolutely the best, strongest part of the team, but got to do something to get the attack involved and create chances. Said it before, league is legacy. Yeah, well, we're living league's legacy now, aren't we? There's his legacy. He built a shit football team. Total shambles. Big up to you, Mary. Colin is saying, I see it every week, but no, I wouldn't boo during the game. I wouldn't normally, Colin, but if I was there, and I know there's a couple of minutes before the end of the game, I would be shouting, get it up there. Big up to Giant 68. Big up Derman Chat. Big up to you, Giant. We were humiliated twice in 2 games. Yeah, I agree with you, Mary, 100%. 2 more home defeats incoming. Jan would tell us a lot about the armies. Adam, you're spot on about that, bud. Big up to Iceman as well. Big up Derman over in the chat. Big up to Giant 68. 100 million is one decent player or 3 for prospects. We have enough prospects. Exactly. Big up Iceman. If we don't get Champions League, Van de Ven will be off. I tell you one thing, I agree. I think he will be. Big up Column. The best thing is 100 million that was dropped is the best thing. Sorry, let me get teeth around this. The best thing is this 100 million that was dropped in was money for. Yeah, I know it was. It didn't come from them, by the way. Simmer couldn't let it. Simmer. What's that? Simmons couldn't lace his own boots, hence that's why he couldn't score. Very funny. There's only one player who come from the German league and hit the ground running. Yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann. I really didn't like. I didn't like it either, Colin. I understand it, right? I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't like it either. I think it shows disrespect, but I think players were hurting on Saturday and then players were frustrated. But they could have been frustrated, but I think they should have showed guts as well and applaud their own fans. If I'm being honest, I felt a little bit sorry for Thomas Frank, and it did start you to think, is there uneasy in the dressing room? Now, I don't think there is, unless my sources haven't told me anything yet. But I know my sources have told me that Thomas Frank is safe. There's no problems. But look. I think he will be all right, but I agree with you. Could you imagine Alex Ferguson doing that, or somebody blanking Fergie, or somebody blanking David Moyes? Or I think it was unprofessional, but I can understand why they did it, because they were hurting and they wanted to get off the pitch quick enough. And a lot of ex pros have said that, but I just felt really bad for Thomas Frank. But I don't think they meant anything by it. But I get you. I get what you mean. I mean, Colin, unless I'm still waiting. I mean, unless there's something going on in the club we don't know about. Is there some frustrations within the dressing room with his tactics? Is there some frustration that the forward, they're doing their bit, but the forward line are not doing their bit? Mickey van der Ven has already come out in the press and pointed the fingers at the front line. So let me know. Let me know what you think, bud. I agree with you, but let me know. Werner couldn't lace up his own boots. That was it. He can score 3 shots and 1 on target. It's just not acceptable. Iceman, I totally agree. A big up to Colin. I haven't seen you for a while, my Welsh cousin. Hope you're doing this. Hope you're doing all right for yourself, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Hi, Dermo. Don't be unhappy at Spurs. It's the curse we put ourselves. Look, I get it, but look, David, Colin, you've seen a lot more. You and Philip Brady and Wilt McDonald have seen a lot more Tottenham than I say I have. I'm only, compared to Philip Brady, I know he's on a cruise somewhere heading towards the Bermuda Triangle. Philip, don't get lost in that, by the way. We know things disappear. Well, we don't really want you disappearing from the Bermuda Triangle. You've seen a lot more, and you've seen relegation, and you've seen Tottenham really bad. Look, I've seen the 90s shit, But I get you. I do get what you mean, brother. Hope you do, man. Great to see you. Great to see you in the chat. Big up Giant. Miami kept drifting to the sidelines. He thought he can mount as a striker. Would need the target man that can score goals. Richard can be a menace, but he can't score on the brothel. Yeah, I think this is why we're missing. I think this is why we're missing Richarlison. Not Richarlison, Solanke. I really do. Big up to Tiger Lily. Hi, Dermo. Big up. I think Tiger Lily. I know. Hang on. Give it to me. Hi, cuz. Hope you're doing well. Big up Marani even. Yeah. People are overthinking this slump. We should be happy that we're doing okay. I don't agree. I'm sorry. Fifth place is a fourth position for us in the league. We're not the fifth best team in the Premier League. I'm sorry. We're a mid-team table at best at the moment. And it's not overthinking this slum or slump. And I just find it really frustrating. I look, even myself, I got carried away with it myself. I really did get carried away thinking we've done very well in the league, we're unbeaten in the Champions League. But it's a false position, isn't it? It is a false position. Are we the fifth best team in the Premier League? No, we're not. We're a mid-table team with a mid-table attack force. But I think the Premier League's funny this year. I honestly do. I think it's gonna be one of those years where I think if you're consistent, either home or away, it may keep you up there. But I'm just angry with the performance on Saturday. That's all. I'm just really angry with that performance. It hurts losing to your London rivals, and I hate losing to Chelsea. I hate losing to Liverpool, and I hate losing to Arsenal. And look, if we lose to Man United on Saturday, yeah, will it hurt? No, because we all know slightly Man United are slightly ahead of us. But when it comes to Chelsea and Arsenal and Liverpool, I'm sorry, I hate losing to them. I mean, we own Manchester, don't we, Connor? We own Manchester. We really do own Manchester. We're waiting for the parade when we go up to Manchester. We already had one home coming up in Manchester. If we beat you Saturday, then we expect another one. Pick up to you guys. Apparently, Mickey went, yeah, they did. I will give you the update on that as well. Colin says, I like VDV's attitude, shows he cared. Never liked Spence's attitude, though. No, I haven't either. But I get it with VDV. Yeah, big up to I forgot your man's name. I know the YouTube have changed it all, haven't they? And they're not putting their channel names up. We'll sign another 4 players next season. The same. We don't have the squad anyway. Yeah, it's been 10 games. Fifth place is respectable. I get it, but are we really a fifth place team, Connor? After Saturday showing? No. Big up to my co-host, Tequila. Spencer's a mug. And then he's very politely said, thank you. See, Tequila's polite. Yeah, big up to you. Big up to you, T. It's just the home form. Once we have that sort, we'll be fine. Yeah, that's true. But what's it? Only 3 wins in the last 19 league games at home, including Ange. That's from Ange to Frank. It's not good enough. And 40 defeats in 60 odd games at home either. And I think we're quickly catching up. I don't know how many games we lost in our first 60 games at White Hart Lane. I will do my research on that and I'll find out. But there's something wrong at home. There's something wrong playing at this new stadium. I don't know what it is. Do the players need to train there? Which was asked in the press conference today. I don't think that would be a bad idea. I missed the first half, Dermo, and I couldn't care less. Saw the second half, and it was awful to watch. It was. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Yeah. Can't grumble, Dermo. At least I've overtaken you FPL, possibly more. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I forgot about that. I've really dropped. I've dropped badly. Yeah. I will bring it up actually when I switch this to members only. We will switch this out when we do the members last bit of the show to show you members early access to the predicted lineup I expect before it goes live to non-members tomorrow. I'll let you know, and I will bring up the fantasy football league as it stands at the moment too for your Giant. If a dude treat me that way and I was his boss, the dude doesn't play for me again until he does a public apology. Do you know what, Tequila? I agree with you. I agree with you, but I also think he was frustrated. But I think it's a funny one, doesn't it? If people did that to Ange, if player did that to Ange, would people have the same? Would people? And look, right. Let me ask you a question, Tequila. Right? If this was Ange Postecoglou and Spence and Mickey Van de Ven do that to that, would you? Would you? Would you think the same thing? And I look, put aside. I know you joke about Ange and that, but does that for any manager? Just I would like to know what you think of that, Bod. Imagine that's Conte would have him bloody. Um, I mean, forget about Conte, Fergie, or Brian Clough. If you did that to Fergie or Brian Clough, they'd probably belt you one. Or Fergie in his fairness, which I could boot at your head or kick a boot at you. David Beckham can say that actually happened to him, and Brian Clough, as Roy Keane said, he belted him one. So there you go. You don't even own your stadium yet, let alone Manchester. I thought we did own our stadium. You telling me we don't own our stadium? Oh yeah, because there. Oh yeah, forgot about that. We're going to do it. Column is what. Big up. What's the point? All right, get you now. Column. At least our stadium isn't. Look, I think it's wrong. I think they shouldn't be demolition Old Trafford. I think they should be fixing it up themselves. I think it's ridiculous. They're knocking down Old Trafford. I really do. It's a nice stadium, but it's not the lane. Exactly, Wayne. It ain't the lane. I don't care what anyone says. That stadium is nice, but that stadium is not White Hart Lane. Never has been, never will. Big up to Nightmare Kid Coys. Big up to Tequila says in public. Yeah, Domo. Backstage or in the locker room is different. Totally agree, boss. Spencer's consistently being caught in possession. He has got to realize he's not Maradona and stop fancy things. Yeah, that's so true. Tequila's saying big up to Tequila. Imagine a lot of the players last year were questioning Ange, but they didn't flub him off on the pitch like that. No, they did, Tequila, to be fair. And he said, what worries me that the team has no respect for Frank, like they did for Nuno. I think this has gotten Nuno Mark II. I look until we can get an update from our sources, who you and I are very reliable, Tequila. I would agree with you, though. I think it might be slightly different to Frank, but to Nuno. But I feel if we don't get result tomorrow night against Copenhagen, we struggle against Manchester United on Saturday, which is a 12:30 kickoff, by the way, and we lose in the North London derby. I think questions are going to have to be asked. I really do. Look, I'm waiting for an update from our sources to let me know what is the latest on Thomas Frank, what I can say, and what I'm waiting for them. So maybe they can drop me a line. I know they do watch the show, so big up to sources. It's time to wake up. Yeah, it's November. It's time to wake up. You have January to get ready. Get me my transfer news. I want it. I need it. I feel like I'm going through withdrawal symptoms since summer ended. I need transfer news. Give it to me. Give it to me. But yeah, let me know. I'm sure they will drop me a line of what's happening. But the killer, do you know what? I don't think I could disagree with you too much on that, bud. I don't think I can disagree with you too much. Right, let's go back over to stats now. I've caught up with everyone. Let's go over this again. So let me go into there. So there were the first bit of stats as well. I mean, that's shocking. At home, that is absolutely diabolical. Then on this, 81% passing to 77 yards, tackles 62, only 1% in it. Aerial duels 19 to 21. Saves 8 from us, 1 for Chelsea. That's shocking as well. Only 1 save as well in the whole 90 minutes. That's shocking. And then touches in the opposition box 14 times. We're in the Chelsea area. 36 times Chelsea were in ours. Now, but also for Thomas Frank, on the fan support, he said, I'm going briefly over the press conference today, guys. Thomas Frank on the fan support thought the fans were fantastic and noisy for the first 30 minutes. There was a turn after we conceded the goal. After the game, we had performed badly, more than fair. The boos, but during the game, We need the fans. And I agree that. I agree that I understand during the game it really is slightly unacceptable to boo. But I I just I just I the fans react to what's on the pitch, and the fans are not seeing nothing on the pitch. Then what do you expect? What do you expect? What do you expect? Seriously. And I keep going back to the last bit of the game nearly in injury time, where they got a free kick. Everyone's up the pitch in the Chelsea area. Jed Spence's back, and Vicario. Let's pass it to Vicario. No, Vicario, you have it, Spence. No, you have it, Vic. Jed, I'm asking you have it. And then when they do kick it up there, everyone's come out, and it's an easy saying for Sanchez. It's diabolical, diabolical. That's what it is. He was then asked more on Jed and Mickey. If they didn't come in to speak to me, I would have asked them about the situation and get their perspective, as none of us know that. We just had a good talk about a lot of things, but like with a lot of things, we keep that internally and I'll always protect them, which I like to see from a manager. So big up for him. And then it was actually the first question is on social media video, Mickey and Jed Spence. Mickey and Jed came into my office unprompted yesterday. They wanted to apologize because they didn't want it to look unprofessional or disrespectful. They were just frustrated. Vicaria on reaction to the Chelsea defeat. This is from Chelsea defeat. We have spoken. We need cooler heads during the game. If we had a bit more help during some situations from the stands, maybe we could do a bit better. But we can't do anything about that. It was a big pain situation. They expressed their pain, and then it was carried. And that was more or less all about the Chelsea game. All the rest of it, of course, was about the Copenhagen game tomorrow. Which, look, I think Copenhagen is going to be a very, very big situation. So what I'm doing, guys, in 10 minutes' time, this will switch to members only, so you guys get to see my predicted team news and the early predicted lineup. You get a little bit of an exclusive video here for you guys. So if you're not a member, why not grab your memberships and join me in 10 minutes' time. This stream will go from live to members only. And then if you're a member, you can follow me over and you get to see the predicted lineup for tomorrow's game against Copenhagen. Of course, at 1 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be going live with the predicted lineup on game day. Then non-members get to see it then. But if you want to get early, grab your memberships and get over and watch it live on member only. So I'm going to try a little something new to entice people to come and grab their memberships. Come on, let's get yours. Look, I still want to have it in the time allotted to me live here on YouTube. I still want to have a bit of a rant if I can. I'm very much frank in. And Tequila asked me a question. Was I frank out? And I said to Tequila, if I'm right, Tequila, maybe tell me if I'm wrong, bud, that under the circumstances of what I saw on Saturday, I think I was still frank in, but not fully frank out yet. I think I've had time to calm down a little bit from Saturday and have a look at the game. I did watch the game again yesterday. I watched the full 90 minutes again and watched it a bit more as a neutral fan instead of a Tottenham fan. And what I found yesterday was I found the blame of Saturday should be laid fully at the players' doors. I don't think Thomas Frank deserves any. Yes, he does deserve criticism, but I think the amount of criticism he's been getting on social media is out of order. And I think we should be looking at the players. Tequila keeps telling me, and he's right, we have the worst forward line that I can remember in a long time. Now, I've seen slightly worse, but this is the worst. This is one of the worst forward lines ever to put on the Tottenham shirt. I get the fans' frustrations as well. They pay good money to go and watch Tottenham play, 80, 90, 100 euro. There are fans that come over from Ireland, America, Europe and pay big money to go to Tottenham to watch them play. I'm going next month. Tickets cost me €58. My flight's going to cost me well over nearly €200. And I'm going for 24 hours. I'm going over, flying there and back. So by the time I get over and the time I get back, it'll be around 24 hours. So I can understand the fans' frustration. I can understand the fans' anger at what they're seeing. And maybe for some of them, it's their only game to get see a year. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm going over in May to see Leeds. So I'm getting 2 games in this year. Normally I go in February, but because it's Christmas, and my birthday's in February, Mrs. Tron decided to treat me early. But I would be angry too. Would I boo during the game? If I saw what I saw at the end of the game, I probably would. And that's hand on heart. I would boo. And I would be shouting. And I think emotion takes over. I think emotion takes over. I think how you feel takes over. I think how you react to situations take over. And as much as I did love Ange at the start, as much as I was Angeing for most of the last season as well, and Tequila would tell you I was, and even the abuse me and Tequila got, and Tequila got a lot worse abuse than I did. But as a channel, we got called out, we got abused because we had an opinion, and you're allowed an opinion. You're allowed to be Frank out. You're allowed to be Frank in. You're allowed to be Ange in, Ange out, whatever. We have to come together. Enough bullshit's gone under the bridge. But I think we all should come together and put still pressure on the Lewis family. And just because Daniel Levy has left the club, just because there's apparently a new regime at the club, that pressure should not stop. That pressure should keep going. We should keep building it and keep building it and keep building it. Because I believe if you step off the gas, that it will give them enough time to not do what they need to do in January. And January is going to be very telling for me. Where they go, what they do, how they go about it, who they bring in. Guys, you've got under 4 minutes before this goes members only to grab your memberships and follow me over to the members only show where I will give you the first look at my predicted lineup. So do pick up your memberships, 99 cents. If you want to join us over, does help us. This is one of the perks you get. You get early access to early videos and you get early access to our predicted lineups before they go live tomorrow for your non-members. So, you know what? Grab your memberships. It's well worth it. And I just think we have to keep the pressure on. I want to say a few people before we do move over. I agree. I totally agree, Tequila. I totally agree. 100%. I agree. 100%. He's shit demo. He should be at least improving players. I couldn't give a monkeys about Frank now. A fan from the crowd can manage us better than what we've seen at home, which is cowardly say football. Wayne, the atmosphere, yeah, it will be tomorrow. Wayne, it will be very interesting tomorrow. He's almost like whoever came after Fergie had no chance. And that was David Moyes came after Fergie, by the way. LOL, me comparing Ange to Fergie, I know. Very funny. Don't care about Ange now. I thank him for the trophy, but he was shit for the most part. Not even in the same postcode. Yeah, I know what you're getting, guys. Wayne's we're not Man United killer. Wayne said nowhere had a soft. I know. No, you had a soft spot for. Yeah, you did. Mary says I haven't come down. Still fuming talk shite. Oh, Mary, neither have I. Giant said Tequila and them can F off the Celtic. Look, I'm a Celtic fan, so you're telling me to F off the Celtic too. I think that's a bit unfair. It's a little bit unfair. There's a lot of Tottenham fans that are Rangers or Celtic fans as well, Giant. I think that's a little bit unfair. I rarely do think that's a little bit unfair. I'm allowed to be Levy in the top column. Levy's available. You can have me, and I think he'd do very better. I think he can't do any worse than the Glazers, and no one can be worse than the Glazers. That is so true. Look, look, I will do a video on this, right? Maybe tonight I might do a video to come out during the week, or maybe do one during the week on this. I have got something written down. I wrote down last night. I was sitting at the PT and I just had stuff in my head, so I decided to write it all down. So I will do a video on this week. And maybe think, I tell you what, before we go, I got a little bit of news, guys. I will go more in depth this afterwards. There is discontent from within the changing room. Frank is not happy with recent performances. Players are not settled with the tactics. Player-to-player relationships are low. The big divide at the moment is the relationship between Van der Ven and Richarlison, with Van der Ven asking more from the forward line. So, do you know what? That tells a lot. So I will do a video on this, guys. It will come out this week. I will do a pre-record on this. I think we need to get together. And yeah, there will be a video. But guys, look, we are about to go over to members only to give you guys that are members a little bit of a peek at my predicted lineups. I want to know what you guys think. So do join me. If you have picked up your membership, you will go directly over. Something we don't normally do. But there's a new thing out on YouTube. So we will be going over any second now. So guys, if you're not members, see you tomorrow at 1. If you are members, welcome. That is it.